If you're a U.S. citizen who gained citizenship through naturalization while living in the United States, you should generally feel secure. This has been the norm for decades. However, during Trump's first term, an executive order was introduced that expanded the government's ability to denaturalize citizens for various offenses, not just extreme cases like being a Nazi or a terrorist. Some scenarios could impact anyone who obtained citizenship through naturalization. Now, under the current Trump administration, discussions surrounding denaturalization have resurfaced. Before examining how this could be enforced or whether these measures will take effect, it's important to first understand what denaturalization is and how the process works. What is denaturalization? Denaturalization is the legal process through which the government revokes a person's U.S. citizenship, stripping them of their status entirely. Historically, this tool was used primarily in cases where individuals had committed fraud during their naturalization process, such as concealing a serious criminal background during their green card application. It was also applied in rare instances, including the prosecution of Nazi war criminals who had falsified their identities to gain entry into the United States. While denaturalization has traditionally been rare, it has always been a legal possibility. However, during Trump's first term, the process gained more attention. In 2018, the Trump administration revived Operation Janus, a program aimed at identifying U.S. citizens who obtained their status fraudulently. The Department of Homeland Security even created a specialized office to manage denaturalization cases. By the end of 2020, several hundred cases had been filed, though the exact number of individuals denaturalized remained uncertain. At the time, many critics argued that the denaturalization push was more of a fear tactic than an active, large-scale effort. While roughly 100 people were denaturalized per year, the possibility of expanding this initiative remained if the government chose to pursue it further. Denaturalization in 2025 renewed concerns. Fast forward to today, and the issue of denaturalization is being discussed again under the current Trump administration. Officials have suggested that many individuals slipped through the cracks and should not have been granted citizenship. Recent Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) raids have led to the detention of some U.S. citizens who were caught up in enforcement operations. While these individuals were later released, their detentions highlight growing concerns about citizenship security. Denaturalization in 2025 renewed concerns. Fast forward to today, and the issue of denaturalization is being discussed again under the current Trump administration. Officials have suggested that many individuals slipped through the cracks and should not have been granted citizenship. Recent Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) raids have led to the detention of some U.S. citizens who were caught up in enforcement operations. While these individuals were later released, their detentions highlight growing concerns about citizenship security. How likely is denaturalization? A recent executive order titled Protecting the U.S. from Foreign Terrorists mentions the potential use of denaturalization for those who obtained citizenship through fraud or misrepresentation. This does not necessarily mean criminal offenses. Someone who gained a green card through a fraudulent marriage, for example, could be at risk of losing their citizenship years later if discovered under these new policies. The denaturalization process is designed to reassess past cases and identify individuals who may have unlawfully obtained citizenship. However, enforcing such policies would be legally complex. Even if an executive order expands denaturalization efforts, proving fraud or misrepresentation broadly could make enforcement difficult. Many legal experts believe the current rhetoric around denaturalization is more about instilling fear rather than implementing large-scale changes. Even if new denaturalization policies were pursued, the government would have to navigate significant legal hurdles. Once an individual becomes a U.S. citizen, they receive constitutional protections, making the process of revoking citizenship legally challenging. Legal challenges and protections. Historically, major immigration-related legal changes, such as attempts to alter birthright citizenship, have faced strong legal opposition. For example, Trump's previous efforts to prevent undocumented immigrants' U.S.-born children from acquiring citizenship faced court challenges and remain unresolved. Similarly, any new executive order aimed at increasing denaturalization efforts would likely face significant legal battles, potentially reaching the Supreme Court. What can you do? If you are currently applying for a green card or citizenship, ensure that all information in your application is accurate and truthful. The naturalization process has become more rigorous in recent years, with increased interviews, home visits, and background checks. For those who became citizens years ago, the risk of having their cases revisited remains low, unless there is evidence of fraud or misrepresentation. Even in such situations, individuals would have the opportunity to challenge their denaturalization in court and defend their citizenship status. The goal here is not to spread fear but to share factual information. While denaturalization is mentioned in the latest executive order, no official actions have been implemented yet. As the administration continues reviewing immigration policies, it's important to stay informed.